Welcome to Love This Journey, a podcast that's a little bit business journey, a little bit personal journey, and a lot of bit awkward journey. This is a podcast where we talk about business journeys, careers, and personal successes, and how we didn't lose our shit along the way. Or did we? That's up for you to decide. This podcast is brought to you by Flourish and Grit, an email marketing and automation studio that specializes in, you guessed it, customer journey. Welcome. Hi, I am Emily McGuire. I am the owner of Flourish and Grit, and I will be hosting your podcast today. So sit back and relax while we welcome our first and second guest. Our second guest, not first guest. That was me. I'm number. I'm
first guest for the day. Second guest. Yeah.
Yes, number 2, Shelley Costello. Shelley worked in hospitality, theater programming, and project management for over 15 years, and she's moving her skills into the marketing world because we need those project management skills. Shelley's a California native, but calls Michigan her home. Her daily workout is chasing her kid, and she loves a good glass of some classy Costco wine.
It's true. It's so good.
I mean, it is good. Nobody's denying that.
The best box wine I've ever had in my life.
Welcome to the podcast, Shelley. I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
You're a real get. I know your schedule's so busy.
Packed.
But I'm so grateful that you could, fit us in.
Yeah. Well, it's not like I just live like over there. Yeah.
Just outside my door, you've pitched a tent in my front yard.
I just live in my front
yard. So Shelley is joining me today from our recording studio, which right now is my living room.
Yeah, it doubles as a house.
It doubles. So utilitarian. Yeah. So Shelley, let's talk. What brings you to Flourish and Grit? How'd you get included in this podcast? Let's tell that story.
Oh yeah. I lived in California for a really long time and did a bunch of stuff that qualifies me to do a bunch of other stuff. And I have always been interested in marketing. I love being marketed to. I know that sounds weird, but I love like hearing the different types of marketing that come toward me. And you and I met through our 4-year-olds who were then 2, but now 4. And I had really wanted to kind of move into this marketing world, and you were awesome enough to talk to me because I'm super awkward. And we decided that this would be a good place for me to start. And now it's been almost a year and I basically like crush it. So
yeah, you do. So for all of you who don't know this, Shelley works for me right now. She is an employee, which is weird to say. I am an employee and Shelley is my employee. We're also very good friends because, kids, that'll do it to you. Momming, hardcore. Yeah. And you need a fellow person in the battlefield with you.
Yeah, another villager.
Another villager. And Shelley wanted to get into marketing, so we've been trying it out. And guess what? Shocker. She's good at it. Shocker. So, tell me, as you've progressed in your career, I think it's fascinating what you did in California. And so talk to me about what you were doing before you moved to Michigan.
Yeah, I was, so I'd done restaurants, training and development and restaurant management for like 8 years at a bowling alley that's really popular called Lucky Strike Lanes. And it was really a very strange environment because it was in Hollywood. So you have all these like famous people coming to this bowling alley. And I was, 24, 25, like, what's happening in my life right now? But the nights are long and exhausting. And I wanted to get out of working till 3 or 4 in the morning. So I decided to look in another direction, and I got an interview for an internship at AMC Theaters, and the woman who interviewed me, it took like a month because they had so many people interviewing for this job, because jobs like that are like gold. And
So
I was
it
lucky
was for their
enough.
corporate office, right?
Yeah, it was for the
Yeah.
corporate office in their independent film department, which was like brand new at the time. And the VP of that department needed a team, which was me. um, and we, I helped her grow that department from nothing to helping find films, get them on screens, and grossing millions of dollars. And it was awesome. So it basically like talked back and forth with independent filmmakers and independent distributors and watched movies all day. I think one year because I had to keep track of all the movies I watched, there's one year where I had watched over like 1,000 movies at my desk. Um, and it was super fun. And I love movies, and the industry is great. But then I met my then boyfriend, now husband, and he
Love
trapped
the
me and I
irony.
moved to Michigan. Just kidding. I love him. He's the best. So we have a 10-year-old and a 4-year-old, and we're insane. So it's so fun.
So
Which
fun.
I haven't told you this story, but last night, my 10-year-old, he's a sleepwalker. He come into our bedroom this morning and he says, did you guys take Monkey, Bear, Ray Ray? These are his stuffed animals. Did you take them out of my room while I was sleeping? We're like, no. We can't find them. We don't know what's going on. We get ready for the morning, go downstairs, and his stuffed animals are downstairs under the dining room table. It's really scary.
Sleptwalk.
Slept walk
Yeah.
all the way downstairs without anybody hearing him. Had the floor, like the bandwidth to carry these stuffed animals down the stairs. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, that's
So my
terrifying.
husband and I are like, we need to get locks on the doors. I don't know, something. Because I've read stories of after, like, he's been doing this for a very long time. Kids
Yeah.
they just like will open the front door and just walk
Oh my
outside. So
God.
of course
That's
I'm like
scary.
panic mode.
Yep. Yep. Lock it down. Lock
Yeah,
it down.
lock his door, put locks on all the doors, knives away.
Yeah.
Tailspin.
So tailspin. Yeah. So I think it's really funny because we've talked about sort of our career journeys, and I went a little bit more of a traditional path where I went to college and then got a master's degree, and you didn't do that.
I didn't do that. No.
Yeah.
I I had finished high school and just went to the junior college in my hometown for a couple years. And then I was like, I gotta get the hell out of here. So I moved. I lived in the Bay Area. I moved down to Huntington Beach. They had a really great community college down there, which is also great because it's like near the beach and it was always sunny. So I did
Yeah.
that for a few years. I got my associate's degree, and then I just went right into restaurant management because I thought I could either do 2 more years in school, or I could just do the job right now and learn the job while I'm already there. I had already been waiting tables and training team members for, since I was 18, and was like, all right, well, I'll just do this. So I just jumped right into restaurant management and I loved it. I mean, I love restaurants. I love everything about them, but when you get older and then you have some tiny humans, it's like, I don't want to not be home, and you have to work on weekends. Like,
Yep.
I don't want to work weekends.
Yeah.
So
The sign of getting old.
yeah.
I can't work. I don't want to work evenings or weekends anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I just think it's funny because we all talk about, you know, how, or especially when you have kids, right? You're talking about their future and what you want them to do.
Yeah.
And it's like, I meet so many people who go down so many different paths
Mm.
and are still able to be, fulfilled and successful in what they do, regardless of their education.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think sometimes higher ed can be a little overrated, although I don't have a lot of room to say that because I went through the whole rigmarole. But maybe I do have room to say that because I've gotten a peek behind the curtains.
Yeah. But you have a kid. You want him to do what he thinks is best, but you also want to instill in him that, like, 'cause we go back and forth at our house too. It's like, of course I want the kids to go to college if that's what they want to do. Uh,
Exactly.
do I want them to like struggle out there in the world because of a lack of education? Like, of course not. But also, if that's not what they want, I don't know how I can't force them to go to college.
Right, exactly. Well, because you also have to think about, I feel like there are two things to career satisfaction. One is, finding the things that fit your brain, right? That help you geek out. And two, finding the way in which you want to do it that fits your lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, if
I'm
you're a brain surgeon, you should definitely go to college. Like,
yeah,
there are things that there are fields that you definitely need some of those higher
yeah,
education,
yeah.
but like my 10-year-old he wants to be famous. So like he wants to be a basketball player, he wants to be a singer. I'm like, okay, well you could get a scholarship and do basketball and that will work for you.
Yeah,
You could be on American Idol. I don't know, that could work.
right.
Like
Yeah.
I don't
Or
know.
just get a smartphone and hang out on YouTubes or
Yeah, those
TikTok.
kids.
Yeah.
This is
Kids these
not your
days.
career. What are you talking about?
This is let's get on the YouTubes and TikTok.
YouTubes and TikToks.
Yeah, and push your 10-year-old aside. He'll have his time.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's so I have a question about, what advice would you give others on a similar journey as you? But I think what I really want to ask you is, when your kids are 17 and they are looking at what they want to do after high school, and I see that's already depressing you.
Yeah.
What would you now, because in whatever 10 plus years you might have a different answer.
Mm-hmm.
What advice would you want to give them, also assuming that they would listen to you?
Oh, sure. Well, I certainly won't be cool enough for them to listen to me. But I would tell them that no matter what they decide at 17, they can always do something else. Like I think 17 and 18 is just so young to be putting somebody in a position where they have to pick what they want to do for the rest of their life.
Right.
So if they go to school for marketing and they get a marketing degree and then they get into the marketing world and they do that for a few years and they recognize they want to do bioscience or whatever, it's probably not even a word, but then they can figure out a path to that.
Right.
I don't think that people need to be stuck in one career for 100 years just because that's what they studied in school. Now, if you love it or it's working for you and your family, unfortunately, sometimes people do things they don't love because everything else around it works. Then that's their decision. But, I just think there's a lot of pressure at such a young age to commit to something. Because your tastes and interests change as you grow older, and those things sometimes don't work for you or your family.
Yeah. I mean, I totally agree. I think it's unreasonable to ask teenagers to figure out the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
At such a young age. And also, like, people get stuck in that sort of sunk cost fallacy in so many ways in their lives, but like, oh, I put all this time into a career.
Yeah.
I don't want to start over. And it's like, well, do you want to be miserable, or do you want to actually try and find something fulfilling?
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I mean, you've just had a fascinating career journey, and now you're reaching your peak working with me. Where do you go from here?
Oh man, I gotta say, like, part of working for me is making sure that the people that I work with, I'm totally not like trying to blow smoke up you either. I would say the same thing.
I mean, I'll take it. I'll take
okay.
some smoke.
It's the best part about a job, and like working with teammates who have a great sense of humor and understand where you are in your life. I have a 10-year-old and a toddler, so sometimes I can't hop on something right away. I have to go do XYZ, or there's a doctor's appointment that just popped up, or, like having the ability to not feel scared. Oh my God, I have to tell my boss that I can't get on until 11 instead of 10.
Yeah.
Like that type of stuff feels awful. And I've worked in environments where it's like, if you're a minute late, you're in big trouble. Or there's no sense of humor involved in any of it.
Right.
And it's awful. So I see myself making sure that I'm with people that continue to contribute to my growth in a meaningful way, and also feel like, I'll use term feels like family, but feel like people that I care about. Because I don't really like to be at work and not care about the people that I'm working with. It feels very That's like a thing. So I see myself with people I like and care about in an environment that is somewhat flexible, but I can still continue to grow, because I've been here for 10 months and I've learned so many tools, and I'm like in that generation of people who didn't grow up with computers until like the end of high school. So sometimes, and I'm sure you're like, oh, Shelley, I'm like, how do I turn this microphone on instead of that one? So I still sort of feel like a dinosaur, but having learned all of these marketing tools and this technology has been great. Not just because I'm like, oh, cool, I'm learning it, but like it gives me some confidence in myself and that I can do new things.
Yeah, absolutely. And just real quick note, I mean, if anybody tries to come and poach Shelley from me after she's just talking about how awesome she is, I will cut. I will come after you. So, and do you love how I just turned that around on me? I made it about me.
Yeah, it's about you. This podcast is a podcast.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, part of learning anything new is just like being willing to make mistakes, and like it's all hard, right? It's all a learning process, and it doesn't matter what it is you're doing, it's all a learning process. So
if you're too scared to mess up, you're never gonna try.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Something is better than nothing. That's what I tell people all the time. So what's inspiring you right now? Are you reading any books or podcasts or any influencers, air quotes?
Oh yeah, you know me, I'm all about those influencers. I just started listening to the Brene Brown podcast with Brett Goldstein, who plays Roy Kent on Ted Lasso.
Oh,
I don't know if you don't have Apple TV, right?
I don't have Apple TV. I want to watch it so bad. Somebody's
Ted
got to give me
Lasso
their
is phenomenal, and Roy Kent's character is great. And so I listened to that, and then I listened to Smart List podcast, mostly just because I love Jason Bateman and I love Will Arnett and I love Sean Hayes, and they give me good laughs, and I like to laugh. But
yeah, I feel like Sean Hayes is the heart of that podcast.
He's great. And he's just so in general, like ice cream inspires me. So
ice cream inspires you. I mean, how couldn't it?
Yeah, it's great.
How couldn't it? All right, now we're going to transition to our rapid fire fun questions. I got 5 questions for you. Don't overthink it. You need to just give me your first answer that comes to the top of your head. Ready?
Okay.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody.
I want to dance with somebody. What are you binging right now?
Only Murders in the Building on Hulu. It's only one episode.
I've heard about that.
One season.
Yeah.
It's good.
I've heard about it. You win the lottery. What's the most frivolous thing you purchase?
A yacht.
Ooh, I love that.
It's frivolous. In my head, it was like a music label, like something that would help make me money and I could be creative, but then I'm like, frivolous, a yacht.
I mean, kind of a music label just for fun is kind of frivolous, I would say. I'll give you a pass on that one.
Okay. A music label would be my first, and then
you're stranded on a desert island, but you get to choose 3 things that you bring with you. What are they?
An endless supply of ice cream.
Okay.
Because it's make believe, right? Ice cream, Spotify somehow on
Somehow.
a
Yeah.
speaker or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Music. Okay, we'll narrow it down. Music. I would bring my Ben Folds music.
Oh, I didn't
Mhm.
know you were that into Ben Folds.
Oh yeah, I'm a big Ben Folds nerd. Like
Oh
I've
my God.
seen it way too many times. I have his book.
Wow.
He's fantastic.
He is really good. Very
Not afraid
talented.
to admit it. That was two. And maybe like a towel.
A towel.
To like
I
lay
mean,
it
that's
on,
really
dry
good.
myself
Yeah.
off.
Don't forget your towel. That's
Yeah,
a classic Hitchhiker's Guide to the
brush
Galaxy.
my teeth with it.
Yeah, so versatile. I love that. It's good
Oh yeah.
answers. And I think I know the answer to the last question.
Okay.
You can only eat one food again for the rest of your life. What is it?
Yeah, it's ice cream. Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
Brush the
Ice
hands off.
check.
All right, that wraps up episode 2 of Love This Journey. Thanks, Shelley, for letting me force you into being interviewed for this. Do you have anywhere on the internet so you want people to find you and hang out with you?
Oh man, I'm really bad at the internet. I think I have Instagram, Shelley Schultz, Schulz is my name before, but don't, whatever, it's cool.
Don't hang out with me. Don't hang out with me. I don't care. I'm
Yeah,
cool without you.
whatever.
I don't need you.
I'm 100.
All right, that wraps up Love This Journey. Thank you so much for joining us today. You can find this podcast on all podcasting services. Tell your friends. Don't forget to follow the podcast and give us a like and a review. We would appreciate you and send you so many good vibes. But thank you. Thanks, Shelley. It's time to sign off. Bye.